Peace and blessings. Welcome to Mental Wellness for the Culture. I am Belinda Gordon Battle, owner and clinical therapist at BGB Counseling Services, providing services here in Miami and worldwide. This is our opportunity to interact and engage in the path to mental wellness as a significant and essential part of our culture. This season on Mental Wellness for the Culture, we are going to speak to experts from our culture about creating and maintaining balance in life, surviving trauma and domestic violence, the value of sisterhood and brotherhood, self care, the aging process, and Black love. We are talking about mental wellness for the culture. Today, we will have Cherise Watson, the owner of Cornerstone Center for Counseling, as our expert. She's going to talk to us about balance. Balance is so important because in the conversations across the board with people our age and younger people, there is talk about how to care for ourselves as we care for our children, as we care for our parents, as we maintain our livelihood through work, and also how do we keep involved in the community and continue to socialize where there's so many things on our plate. I welcome you, Cherise, to this discussion and to lend us some helpful tips to maintaining balance. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored and excited to be a guest on mental wellness for the culture.
Thank you so much for being here. Please tell our audience a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Definitely. So, my name is Cherise. I am a licensed mental health counselor and I'm a qualified supervisor, as well as a certified, clinically certified trauma professional. I work in the community with individuals, couples, groups, and provide counseling, workshops, psychoeducation, you name it. But anything having to do with mental health, mental wellness, that's what I do.
Absolutely. You are one of my sisters in mental wellness and mental health, and I really appreciate you being here. Talk to me about balance.
Balance is something I feel that we are all striving for, working toward, but sometimes struggling and failing badly with finding the balance. In this culture that we live in, with what's going on around the world, with our families, it just feels like a hustle and bustle constantly. Everyone's just grinding, working, parenting, cooking, cleaning. There's just a million things that we are doing, and we get lost in that shuffle. And a lot of the times, what gets lost is ourselves, like time for ourselves and being able to balance our needs with our work and with the needs of our family.
Absolutely. I understand what you're saying about getting caught up in the shuffle. I want to make sure our audience understands what does that feel like? Because I've heard that it can be overwhelming to have so many things that you need to take care of, even to the
Definitely.
point where you can experience anxiety or depression because you're overwhelmed with things that are on your plate. Can you give us a little bit of insight into what someone may feel when they are unable to have balance in their life?
Definitely. There's this uneasiness that you feel. There's this sense of like you're not yourself. And you feel pulled and torn in so many different directions. When you talk about anxiety, that's really a common thing that you would notice where your mind is racing and your thoughts are racing and you can't stop thinking about what you have to do next or what am I missing, what's coming up. And sometimes that anxiety can even impact your sleep. Your sleep hygiene is affected and you're not getting restful sleep because you're waking up in the middle of the night thinking about all these things that you might have missed or that you have to do or that are coming up. But it can show up in so many ways. But I would just say it's an uneasiness and just not feeling like yourself because you're just kind of weighed down with many tasks and many responsibilities. And it feels like maybe you're running out of time, like you're not able to accomplish it all.
Yeah. Part of being out of balance definitely is feeling like you can't accomplish everything. So I've noticed that we tend to multitask. I can
That,
do three things at one time. I can drive my car. I can also speak to my son about his school activities, and I can send a text message all at the same time, maybe just while I'm sitting at the light. What do you
true.
think about multitasking as an option for creating balance in our life?
I think multitasking is a great option, but it just depends on you as a person. So for me, I am a terrible multitasker.
Yeah.
So one thing will be done well, and then the other two things will not be done well. But other people are really good at multitasking. So I think it really has to be based on you and what works for you. But it is a way to kind of check off those boxes,
Yeah.
and checking off two instead of one at a time helps for sure.
Absolutely. When you say check off boxes, it makes me think of a list.
Yeah, making a list is another way to try to get organized, as you're trying to find and strive towards balance, because you got to
Mhm.
figure out what is it that I need to do, and you can make a list for that day instead of overwhelming yourself with the month or the week. Just go day by day. What do I have for today? And then you kind of check off what you need to do, and if you missed a few things, you can carry them over to the next day versus
Yeah,
beating yourself up, because there's a lot, and there's only 24 hours in the
right,
day.
right. I'm glad you said that because I was just thinking to myself, if I make a list and I don't complete everything on the list, then what do I do? But I
Right.
hear what you say when you're saying carry it over to the next day, but just
Mhm.
continue to work through your list.
Yes.
What should we make as a priority as far as creating balance and maintaining balance in our life? What's the priority?
I feel like one of the things that you really have to look at is you. A lot of times we're looking at what do the kids need. They have to go to school, they have to go to practice, they have a test, they have a project, I got to cook dinner, I got to go shopping. But as you're navigating all these different things and all these different tasks, you have to be taking care of and prioritizing you. You
Mhm.
have to figure out what's within your means, what your schedule is like, how much time you have, how much energy you want to put towards things. And so you start when you're making that list with yourself, and then branch out into the other things. And I feel like there's different areas that stand out in each person's life that you may want to prioritize. So family, of course, first and
Mhm.
foremost, your family and their needs are important. Work is important because that's what keeps us going and getting us an income so that we can make a living and take care of our families. Our
Mhm.
spiritual needs, we have our spiritual needs, and being grounded and connected to your faith helps
Right.
as you're trying to find balance, as well as your physical body, like
Mhm.
being active, whether you're going to exercise or you're going to eat a certain way or drink more water, whatever those goals might be. And then, of course, just having your own time with friends and like your own extracurricular hobbies and interests. It's kind of like there's a bucket for each of those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to make sure that you are the priority. Start with you.
Start
That is
with you.
so important because we have a tendency to look around and see what else needs to be done and direct our attention towards that. How can we make sure that the individual, you, are a priority in your day to day life? What do you do to make sure that you, as Cherise Watson, who has a number of things on your plate, how do you make yourself a priority?
That is a great question. Daily, every day, it's a struggle, but I try to check in with myself throughout the
Mhm.
day and see where I'm at and how I'm doing. And there's certain signals and clues that I give myself that I'm overworking or I'm overdoing it, and I need to kind of shift gears a little bit. So for me, I try to have quiet time, whether that be in the morning or just later on in the night, once dinner and everything is done. Try to have that time for myself, whether it's just to sit in silence, read a book, watch a show, call a friend. But I try to just have a few minutes for me,
Yeah.
because my day goes all the minutes go to everything else and everyone else. But sometimes it's just really checking in with like, am I overdoing it? Because sometimes I can just get lost in work
Mhm.
or lost in an activity that I'm doing. And I'm like, wait, I haven't really had time for me, or I haven't really had time to talk to my son or my husband. Let me put this
Yeah.
to the side and go check in with them, see how they're doing, see what they need.
Absolutely, absolutely. Using that time for yourself is so important. I feel like it's something we should add to our calendar. Just like we add other
Yes,
appointments, that we add me time to the calendar, even if it's for 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, that everybody can make that a part of their daily schedule. So
definitely.
before I go to work or as soon as I get off from work, I take a few moments to myself. I really appreciate you talking about this issue. What else can you tell us that our listeners can take with them about maintaining and planning for and maintaining balance in their lives?
Definitely. I would say that when you notice that you're not feeling yourself, take account to that. Like, pay attention. A lot of times we don't pay attention to the signs that our bodies or our minds or whatever is giving us that something is off. We
Yeah.
tend to just kind of push through and work through it. And I'm just going to, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And we ignore things and put them on the back burner. And then what ends up happening is, either that anxiety creeps up, your mood changes, you're dealing with some depression, you might have some health
Mhm.
challenges, and then that stops us dead in our tracks. And then we have to kind of work backwards. But if you can start with you, make that time for yourself, see what's within your capacity for what you can handle. Don't overload yourself. Don't put on more than you can take on.
Yeah.
Set boundaries, say no sometimes. I think sometimes we have a hard time saying no. We want to do everything. We want to do all the things, but sometimes you're going to have to say no. So I
Yeah.
would say check in with yourself, see what your capacity is. If something's outside of your capacity, it's okay to say no. It's okay. And something else will come back around. But the other thing is, when you're listening to yourself the first time, when you're seeing those signs, rest,
Rest.
reset,
Hmm.
take a pause. Like, that is a time for you to take a step back versus go,
Absolutely.
go, go. We're humans, we're not machines. You gotta pause, you gotta stop sometimes.
My favorite thing that you said is to say no. I love saying no. Like, ask me a question, Cherise. Just ask me something. Go ahead.
You want to go to the mall later so we
No,
can go shop?
no, no, thank you. Mm-mm. Maybe some other time. I can't do it today. No, thank you. And then
Yeah,
with a smile, because it's so important for you to know I don't have any animosity towards you, Sharice. But no, no, thank
yeah.
you.
It's not personal. It's
It's
just
not
it's just no.
personal. It's me taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Sharice, for sharing those tips that we can utilize every day. I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
You ready?
I think so.
Okay. Tell me, why did you decide to go into the field of mental health to create a place, a safe space for mental wellness for our culture? Why did you decide to do that?
I chose this career and this field because really I felt called and led, by God to be in this field. So many counselors and teachers had poured into my life growing up and have made a difference significantly when I was experiencing different challenges. And I wanted to be there for other people in the way that people were there for me. I feel that it's not there's not enough representation, there's not enough uh, therapists, psychologists, social workers, that look like us in our field, and can understand how to respond to the different needs and the different challenges that Black families, Black children, Black couples may face. So it just, I felt like called by God to be, it's my purpose. I feel like it's part of
Yeah.
my purpose on earth to help serve in this field.
Absolutely. And I know for a fact that you do an amazing job in your service in this
Thank
field.
you. Thank
You
you.
make sure mental wellness is a part of the culture from day one when you are working with your clients. And I appreciate you for that. Quick
Thank you.
fire questions.
All right.
Ready? Your favorite
I,
juice?
Pink lemonade.
Hmm. Favorite cookie?
Peanut butter cookies from Publix.
What? We're not gonna promote Publix on here. Okay.
Sorry, but peanut butter cookies.
Your favorite cake?
Just vanilla,
You
plain.
know. And the best vacation you ever had was to
My best vacation I ever had was a 7 day cruise to
oh,
Honduras, Belize, Cozumel, Mexico, and the Cayman Islands.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing a piece of yourself, letting us know how to create and maintain life balance, and being a part of mental wellness for the culture. Welcome to the family, Cherise.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thanks for having me. This was really awesome.